Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul joined alongside Jack Weinberger and Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia. Fun episode today, guys. The beginning of the year, we always do our preseason predictions. We do a little bit of divisions, some Super Bowl picks, MVP talk, and usually we just ignore it. Usually we kind of just fade it away, and our predictions, never live to see another day. And if they're great, they're great. If they're wrong, they're wrong. We never revisit.
We're intellectually honest here.
Yeah, but now we are. Now we're intellectually honest on the Paul Farrington Show. And we're going to revisit those today through 5 weeks of the season and just take a look at where we went right, but more importantly, where did we go wrong? And actually, just from a little look here, not so bad. I mean, there's a few blunders, and Ziggy has one that most people hopefully remember as
I'm never
crazy.
wrong.
Well,
I'm
Jack,
never wrong. So I don't
and
think
then you could decide. You decide who's in the best shape right now. So again, before we start up, thanks everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We're right there on 13,000, guys. Right there. It is so close.
We could be at 13,000 by the time you're listening to this, but if we're not, we could be at 12,999. You might be the click that takes the 13,000.
Should we give like a giveaway for the 13,000 subscriber?
15.
Absolutely not.
15,000. We might maybe do a giveaway.
15,000.
15,000. So yeah, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You can always become a member by going to our channel homepage and selecting join. If you can't watch us on YouTube, you can always listen along on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can also see our merch store. There's a link to our merch store in the description. And I don't think the week 4 winner from the pool ever reached out to us on who they are. It's ESPN fan, bunch of numbers. So if you are listening, we owe you a shirt. So please feel free to reach out to us.
If you don't get back to us soon, we might have to give that shirt to the person in second place.
I know. Oh, yeah, that's what we'll do. So maybe by the end of the week.
You got 1 week.
Yeah, 1 week and counting, an ultimatum here.
Or we can give it to Ziggy, have him wear it, sweat a bit in it.
Jack, please stop.
And then sell it.
We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this.
Horrendous. All right, so while we get into this here, we'll start off with the AFC predictions that we had, and yeah, here we go. I was actually about to switch it over to see if Jack wanted to talk a little Steelers, but we'll start here in the AFC predictions.
I don't have to say anything about the Steelers.
Yeah, Jack was upset. Jack was very upset last night. I was getting text from him and his brother, just a total reversal of where we were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
See, I'm not sure if people realize like the Jack you see on the show is basically Jack. Like I wake up this morning because I wasn't able to stay up and watch the game, and I opened my phone and we've just got like CeeDee Lamb might suck. This team is so terrible without Parsons. Jack could run all over them. We're the only team in the league that pitches on 3rd and 9. Dak is terrible. Then we go to we really suck. We lose 49-3 to the Lions. Like it's just Jack can't help but overreact. The Steelers are either the best team in the NFL or the worst team in NFL history. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, to current date, right now the Steelers are number 29 in my power ranking. And Dallas is like 27.
It is pretty funny that people are always wondering whether or not these relationships that we have on camera are similar off screen. It is the exact same thing. It is exactly the same off screen. Jack texted me. It's like, oh, we go to Buffalo, we lose 56-3. 56-3.
Well, it's funny. We ran a pitch on 3rd and 9, and that's what sparked.
They were the number 2 team in the NFL.
They'd fallen to 29.
That's horrendous. All right, so let's take a look here. Currently, we'll start the AFC.
You know one thing quickly before we start.
This show is a problem.
We won the turnover battle 3-0 and still lost at home.
Oh yeah, that was the text Jack said. Jack's
know how absurd that is?
We won the turnover battle 3-0. No Micah, no DeMarcus,
no Lawrence, no Cooks, and we lost at home.
And we lose the game.
They just fell from 2 to 30.
No offense. There's no offense.
That wasn't the problem. Our secondary is just the worst ever.
Defense. There's no defense.
There's no anything.
Okay, so the AFC here, the current standings in the AFC. The Chiefs are at 1.
And 4th and 6, who allows that? Like 4th and goal from the.
I'm sorry.
We're moving on. The Chiefs are at 1. The Texans are at 2.
I can go
the
for
Ravens at 3. The Bills at 4. Your division leaders. Somehow 5. The Steelers. despite everything you just heard, the Steelers are currently 3-2 in the playoffs as the leading wild card. Well, there it is. Yeah, you go to Buffalo and you lose by 50 points. The Broncos, the number 9 team in the NFL, according to Jack, are in 6th, and wow, the Chargers are in 7th. I actually didn't look at the standings until literally just now. I can't believe that the Chargers are in 7th. The Chargers are currently in 7th. So, how close were we? Jack at the beginning of the year said the Chiefs would be in first place. Check. Well done, Jack. In second, he had the Dolphins. But the Tua injury where you can't.
The Tua injury is not what's explaining this.
Bad pick. Bad pick.
At 3, Jack had the Bengals.
Bad pick.
Bad pick. 4, the Texans. That's another division winner. That's a good pick. 5, you had the Steelers. Spot on.
Okay.
6, the Bills, who are in the playoffs right now. Not bad. And 7, the Jets, who are currently the 8 seed. So.
No, I switched to the Ravens, didn't I?
Oh, you did switch to the Ravens. Okay, my bad. So 7, the Ravens, who are currently the 2 seed. So currently you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 playoff teams.
All right.
In the AFC. Not bad. Which one of those picks right now? Which are you most proud of? What do you which one are you regretting at the moment?
Well, you know what I'm regretting? The Dolphins. I think it was a great move for me. I initially had the Jets in there at the 7. I pulled them for Baltimore. I think that was a good move. Kicked the Jets out of there. But I mean, Miami winning the AFC East. And what are they now? They're sitting.
Do you think now
1-4?
Ziggy, you said even if Tua was healthy at this point, they've got a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the Tua injury obviously hurts, and I think they'd have a chance of sneaking into the playoffs if Tua were there. But this team looked broken from the beginning, right? Barely gutting out a win against the Jaguars. Even before Tua was out, they were getting blown out by the Bills. And I get that Tua's an important part of the offense. He's a really important player. But then you get murdered by Seattle. You get murdered at home by the Tennessee Titans. Tua would help, but there are so many problems facing this team that it's not clear to me that his performance, because I mean, we're not talking about Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about a slightly above average NFL quarterback. It is not clear to me he'd be making all the difference for this team to the point where they'd be winning the division.
On a ridiculous contract, too.
I mean, that was hands down my worst pick.
But you know what, though? Coming into the year, I mean, the expectations were high. Like I was watching the Dolphins the other day thinking to myself, like, that's why the NFL is so crazy. That's why it's so fun. In the NBA, we kind of have an idea of everyone who's going to be good, and they'll probably be very good. But in the NFL, like, who would see the Vikings at 5-0? Who thought the Dolphins? You might have thought they'd miss the playoffs, but did anyone think they'd be this bad?
I'm also a fool to put the Bengals at 3. That's the worst defense I've ever watched.
The defense is
they're going to miss the playoffs.
Oh yeah, no, we were having a reaction to it. We said doomed. Ziggy said they're doomed.
What did I hit?
Okay.
I guess Steelers at 5 being spot on is pretty.
Well, I don't even know what you think of the Steelers anymore.
Well, they stink, but I mean, to get it 5 weeks through the year, I'm
that's a 5 spot.
at their 5.
That's dead on. All right, Ziggy, you had the Chiefs in the 1 seed. Check. You had the Bengals at 2. This is the one we have to explain. The Titans at 3. The Bills at 4, which is actually exactly correct. You had the Texans at 5. The Ravens at 6. And the Raiders at 7. So, Ziggy, you had 4 of the 7 teams correct, missing on the Bengals, Titans, and Raiders. Where are you at on the Titans and Raiders right now?
The Titans, I mean, that pick just turned out bad. I was betting on them hitting the upside on that team, and it looks like it didn't happen. The Raiders, I don't think this team's making the playoffs, but the Raiders aren't completely out of it. They're 2-3. I know they just got blown out by Denver. I know that Davante Adams wants out. It's not looking good. If they're not able to get an offer they like for Davante Adams and they keep him around, and they're able to figure out the quarterback situation, either Gardner Minshew gets a little bit better or Aiden O'Connell steps in and does all right, it's not impossible that the defense carries this team to the playoffs. I mean, they did beat the Ravens. They did beat the Browns. But yeah, I wish I had put the Chargers in instead of them. I think that probably would have been a better pick. But I think there's going to be some bubble team in the AFC because look at who they're competing with at the bubble there, right? It's the Jets, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Dolphins, the Colts. Like one team is going to sneak into the AFC playoffs that absolutely does not belong and is going to get demolished by whoever the 2 seed is. Is it impossible to think that's the Raiders? I don't think so.
It's not totally a question. I mean, I just want to read this to people because I have the graphic right here. I can see it, but I want people to really understand. We talk about the AFC a lot as the juggernaut conference because the quarterbacks they have in it. But after the Chiefs, Texans, Ravens, and Bills, I'm just going to read the current standings and just really process like these teams aren't that like who do you believe in? 5 Steelers, 6 Broncos, 7 Chargers, 8 Jets, 9 Raiders, 10 Dolphins, 11 Colts, 12 Titans, 13 Browns, 14 Patriots, 15 Jaguars, 16 Bengals.
Frankly, the Titans are not completely out of the playoff picture. I know that sounds terrible. NFL.com gives them a 25% chance of making it.
I believe firmly in the Broncos.
Out of all those teams there,
it's Denver.
It's Denver.
Yes. I think Denver is right now the third best team in the conference.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's insanity. But you guys get the point. I mean, come on. Who are you putting them over?
I'd go Chiefs, Ravens, Broncos.
Over the Texans and Bills.
Over the Texans for sure.
Based on
maybe the fourth.
Well, based on what? I
think they got a defense full of ball hawks. I think Surtain's locked down. Bo Nix is improving.
That's hey, look. I mean, they're winning. I guess I completely.
Aren't the Jets just the better version of the Broncos?
No, the Broncos are better than the Jets by far.
By 1 point in rainy conditions. Yeah, I just look at the AFC here, and I think it's wide open. Like, everyone's still available. The Bengals are here at 16th. They have a 28% chance to get in the playoffs, according to NFL.
What's Pittsburgh percentage?
Pittsburgh, you guys are high. You guys are 67%.
What's Denver?
48%. The percentage, who knows how.
Denver's better than we are.
And I'm just saying, like, the AFC is, I mean, right now, you go up and down that from 5 to 16. Yeah. It's hard to find three teams you believe in.
Yeah, maybe I undersold it. Maybe it's not one team that's going to sneak in. It could be two. It could even be three.
Everyone's allowed there. That's why if you're a Bengals fan and you're sitting at 1-4, you're literally in last place in the AFC. You go through all those teams and you're like, if Joe Burrow gets hot and the defense is just average, we should. I think
they have a better chance of every team outside of the playoff picture and ahead of them, except maybe the Jets.
Yeah, well, you say when
I actually think the Steelers would be another one that. They always show up.
Well, the Steelers are in the playoff picture, right? Outside of those 7 teams, the Bengals are the best chance to climb.
You say when Joe Burrow gets hot, but he's been hot for quite a long time.
Well, I mean,
it's when the defense gets
average.
He's been hot for quite a bit.
Then for me in the AFC, I had the Chiefs at 1, the Ravens at 2, the Jets at 3. I gambled on the Jets. We'll see how that goes. The Texans at 4, Bengals at 5. The Bills at 6 and the Dolphins at 7. I actually said it would come down to the Dolphins versus the Browns in Week 17. I believe
you said that might be game of the year potential.
I said that would be the game that would determine the 7th seed, and that right now we're looking at the 10th seeded Dolphins who should be worse than the 10th seed, and the 13th seeded Browns who.
The Browns are the worst team in the AFC.
Worst team. Yeah, honestly, they are the worst team.
Here we have the 3-13 Browns.
So I'm currently at 4 out of the 7. I actually still feel okay about Cincinnati getting in especially after reading what I just read in the AFC. And the Jets are actually still in it. I don't think they're going to catch Buffalo. They may switch places at one point during the year, but I do expect the Bills to win the AFC East right now. We're starting to see some issues with Buffalo, but the Jets, unless they make a move, I really think they need more help. And Davante Adams, that's what I'm saying. Go get Davante Adams because they just from watching them yesterday, it didn't feel like there was much of a threat outside of Garrett Wilson. And I like Braylon Allen, I like Breece Hall, but
Rodgers is chalked though. I think he's chalked.
And he's getting banged up.
I just think he's chalked.
I thought there were a couple drives where he looked really good. I mean, he put a few balls on Allen Lazard that were just unbelievable.
Some of it's still there, but the guy's 40 years old. He's an artifact.
Go get him his guy.
He's not as good as he used to be, but he's still
not even like in the same realm.
I think
because the same realm is like best quarterback in NFL history or close to. He's not quite there.
He's an artifact.
He needs his guy. He needs some more weapons.
It wouldn't matter.
All right, so Jack,
I think Davante's a better fit in Pittsburgh than New York.
No.
100%.
He's got no one to throw him the ball in Pittsburgh.
At least in Pittsburgh, he'd go 500 or better every year.
Fields is better than Rodgers right now.
You would take Aaron Rodgers every single day of the week over Fields.
No way.
Really? You wouldn't?
I think Fields over Rodgers right now.
That's insane. I think with Rodgers, you guys are actually have a shot. All right, so Jack was 5 out of 7. Me and Ziggy 4 out of 7.
What else is AFC? What else is new?
In the NFC, the current standings are. Isn't this crazy? Like going through it here. I mean, you have your teams that you expect to, but on all of the ones that we kind of rolled the dice, we were just horrendous.
I used to think AFC stood for Atlantic Football Conference.
What do you think NFC stood for?
National Football Conference. So I knew what that was.
Well,
but I thought AFC was Atlantic.
But
That's it.
out of curiosity, right? So like we're doing a football podcast. You want to be respected. Like, what do you get from bringing that up?
I just thought it was funny.
As he's out here saying,
Then I realized like the San Diego Chargers were in the Atlantic Football Conference. I'm like, oh, it can't be Atlantic.
3 of the last like
and then I
8
realized
things Jack has said are that the Broncos are a top 3 team in the AFC. He'd rather have Justin Fields than Aaron Rodgers, and he thought the AFC was the Atlantic Football Conference.
And yet, look who got the most picks right out of the 3 of
And
us.
here he is with 5 out of 7. So I don't know.
So keep coming
I
out.
don't think any of us are going to be doing very well in the NFC.
The NFC, so the current standings are in first. Skull, baby. We got the Vikings at 5-0. The Commander. Yeah, this is crazy. The Commanders in second, 4-1. Falcons 3, Seahawks 4. If you had through 5 weeks that as your division leaders parlay,
You are lying.
you're lying, or you're on your yacht somewhere. 5, the Lions. 6, the Bucks, and 7, the Dallas Cowboys. With the Packers, Bears, and Eagles right on the cusp, 8 through 10 there. Okay, so
And the Saints could be moving up if they beat the Chiefs.
yeah, the Saints could be. We're recording this Monday night. The NFC, I mean, just again, when you just scroll down and look at all the teams right now, the NFC is significantly better than the AFC right now. Significantly better. Jack, you had the 49ers in first, the Lions in second, Dallas in third, the Bucks in fourth. So none of the division winners correct at the moment. The Packers in fifth, the Eagles in sixth, and the Falcons in seventh. So you currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 playoff teams correct in the Lions, Cowboys, Bucks, and Falcons.
I mean, that's better than I thought. When you were reading off like the current standings, I thought I was sitting at like 2 for 7. But I mean, I still think that. What did I have? I had the Bucks at the 4 seed, right?
Bucks in the 4, yep.
Where are they now? They're at the.
They're in the 6th spot right now. They're
Like,
wild.
they could win the.
But
NFC.
they have the same record as the Falcons.
Yeah.
So they're behind because they lost.
They could be a South champ. I had Atlanta in there at 7. I still like Green Bay to get in a wild card spot. What are they, like the first team out right now, you said?
They're the first team out at 3-2, yes.
And
And the
who had-
Bears are right there in ninth.
Who would I have at 5?
At 5, you had the Packers. You had Green Bay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty good overall from you. You expect the 49ers to get in, you said, right?
The Niners will get in. The 1 seed now is looking bleak. But I feel like at the time you'd be a little nuts not to put them at number 1, kind of like the Chiefs.
So who are the
You'd
biggest?
be nuts to put the Vikings at 1.
Oh yeah, out of your mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jack did have
I mean,
them
I can
4-1.
I can get the Lions. Yeah, so I didn't have Minnesota in. I'm confused by that because I had them going 13.
Well, I think you were joking when you said the 13-4 record.
No, serious.
Well, then I don't
It
know.
was in our schedule predictions video.
Yeah.
That's what he gave
Then
us.
I don't know.
I guess I just forgot.
Does Jack
them.
lose credit for the Vikings prediction if he didn't have them in the playoffs a week before the season?
Yeah.
Well, no, we have a video of me saying I'll go 13. I think I forgot you were a
Yeah,
team.
but that was recorded before the playoff.
I think I forgot you existed.
Who right now is, in your guys' opinions, the top 3 threats to the 1 seed in the NFC? Like, if you had to place your money on the 1 seed right now, who are you thinking?
Detroit.
Detroit? Who would you put after that?
I don't want to say Minnesota.
It's fine. No, you don't have to say Minnesota. I'm not fishing for the Vikings.
No,
here.
but I feel like I mean, who else would it be? I can't say Washington. I'd probably say Detroit, Minnesota number 2, and then I guess San Francisco.
Man, San Fran at 2 and 3. I don't think that the 49ers belong on that list right now.
Dude, who would you put as a third team over to get the 1?
The Eagles?
Washington, the Eagles.
I would probably put the Eagles there. I'd be thinking.
What are the Eagles? 3 and 2.
Yeah, they are 3.
They're 2 and 2.
They're 2 and
They
2.
want to buy.
Yeah, they had a bye this week. 49ers schedule though, I'm pretty sure it starts to heat up a little bit for San
I
Francisco.
might even put Green Bay in there over.
No,
over-
the only reason the 49ers are even being talked about like they have a good chance to make the playoffs is because of the division they're in.
Yeah, I'm out on. Listen to the schedule for San Francisco right now. This is kind of nuts. At Seattle this Thursday, short week.
They'll beat Seattle.
Yeah, they own Seattle. They host the Chiefs. They host the Cowboys. They're at the Bucks. Host Seattle. At Green Bay. At Buffalo. Those are the next 7 games.
That's difficult, but I don't see a third team
mean,
who.
Going to Seattle this week is tough. You're going to Seattle with them absolutely furious after that Giants loss. The 49ers aren't healthy yet. I'm just saying that's not a free
they
win.
still got Detroit.
No, it's not a free win.
They still got Detroit. They go to Arizona. I mean, they got Chicago, which they should roll Chicago at home. But the Rams again, like if you can, I mean, look, 5 losses and you're at 8 on the season. This is a really tough schedule.
I'm not comfortable putting Philly above them as a 1 seed. Like the
Eagles have a better record.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the record's so close. I'm just projecting on what I think is going to happen here, and like San Francisco should be 4-1. Like they really should be 4-1. They should have beat the Cardinals. They should have beat the Rams.
From a talent standpoint, it's that they're a top 5 team in the NFC. Like I think they're better than Philadelphia.
Yeah, talent wise, well, they need McCaffrey. I really do think they need McCaffrey back, but without McCaffrey right now and with the schedule they have, it's not crazy to think that they can lose a bunch of those games.
And it's so hard. They're 3.5 games behind the Vikings. Like that's a huge hole to be in 5 weeks in.
Yeah, I don't have them over Minnesota. I said it was Detroit, Minnesota. Yeah. And then if I had to pick a third, I'd probably go San Fran. I just don't really pick
at least the Eagles are what, 2 games behind the Vikings because they were on that bye?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd rather be there than 3.5 games behind.
I think at this point, though, a game and a half between those 2 teams doesn't make a huge difference.
I actually might put. So I think I'd have the Lions, then the Vikings, and then I'm kind of tempted to put Tampa Bay or Atlanta. I know that's kind of it's a little weird when you have teams like the Eagles than 49ers that people generally believe in a lot more. But just when you look at I think schedule is important. And I don't think San Francisco, I'd actually go so far to say the 49ers will not win the 1 seed. Like I'm very confident they will not be the 1 seed this year.
Is there any love for the Commanders here?
That's what I was debating. I think they come back to earth a little bit.
Such an easy schedule for the rest of the season.
You got it in front of you?
Yeah, it's besides they go to Baltimore next week, which is tough.
Yeah, Ziggy's like they got an easy schedule at the Ravens.
No, but then here's the rest of the schedule. At home, Panthers and Bears. Then at the Giants, host the Steelers. At Philadelphia is tough. Host the Cowboys is tough. Host the Titans at New Orleans. Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys.
I mean, the thing about the Commanders is like, I don't like that whole, and I do it too. It's like, I don't want to jump the gun on this team yet. But I mean, like, why? Because they're not supposed to be good.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Like if a team is looking good, they look like a top 5 team in the league the last 3 weeks.
Their quarterback's playing.
Daniels is an MVP level candidate right now.
Yeah, on FanDuel right now, they've got the Commanders 5th best odds to be the NFC 1 seed.
Yeah.
Who are the top 5 at the moment?
Minnesota, Detroit, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Commanders.
Yeah, I was going to put Atlanta. I was looking. The Bucs schedule I forgot they had that 1 seed schedule. So they have the Chiefs. They have, I believe it was also the 49ers later in the year. That 49ers game. I mean, that's tough for both
So
teams.
here's just to put the remaining schedules for those in question. Here's why like the first place schedule matters so much is it's just
look at Atlanta and Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Look at those 2 schedules right now. And you'll see why
tough.
the first place schedule matters. I'm going to go Detroit. You know, why I'm a Viking fan. What am I doing here?
Kidding me?
I'm going with the Vikings 1, Detroit 2, and 3 Atlanta. And I don't think it's crazy to put the Vikings there.
Here's the difference in remaining schedules, right? Common opponents, excluding their games against each other. Tampa Bay, here are those 4 other games. Chiefs, 49ers, Ravens, Saints. Atlanta, here are their 4 games. Broncos, Seahawks, Vikings, Commanders. I know which of those schedules I'm taking.
Whoever avoids the Broncos.
It's funny that the Atlanta schedule there, though, the last 2, the Vikings and Commanders.
It's a lot harder than you thought it would be.
It's harder than you thought, but you still take that schedule compared to Tampa.
Who avoids the Broncos there? The Falcons?
Tampa Bay.
Dude,
Tampa.
I'm telling you, if I had the Broncos in a playoff game right now, who'd we say they're the 6th seed at the moment, right? Is that what we said?
Yeah. Let's say they stick there. They go to Houston.
Yeah, Houston is jumping up and down. They're thrilled.
Do you know what I think I have Denver in the AFC Championship game?
This segment is chaos. We've completely lost the plot here.
I think their defense is seriously legit.
Ziggy, so you had 3 of the 7 right here. You had the 49ers in first, the Eagles in second, Detroit third, Atlanta fourth. Then you had the Cowboys, Packers, and Cardinals. Where are you feeling? How are you feeling on Arizona? That was your big pick. That was the bold pick. Everyone thought it was crazy.
It looked terrible until this week. where they beat the 49ers. Now, again, you can say that was a fluky victory, and that's certainly part of it, but they won the game. At this point, I mean, their odds aren't great. I'd give them probably a 1-3 chance of making the playoffs, but the NFC West is a lot weaker, I think, than a lot of people thought it would be. And they already got the single hardest game going to San Francisco out of the way, and they won that. Mm-hmm. I don't think their chances are great, but at 2-3 here, with how much chaos there is in the NFC, if Kyler can keep playing good, the defense can lock in a little bit. I don't feel nearly as bad about that as the Titans prediction.
Oh, no. The Cardinals, Kyler Murray. They have Kyler Murray. The
they're
Titans
live.
do not. Yeah.
And they just won in San Francisco, too.
Yeah, no, Arizona, well, they've been so topsy-turvy, though, where, getting blown out one week and then impressive the next. Like, it's...
Yeah, their game against the Packers this week is huge.
That's a really fun game. And it's huge for both teams. It's a great opportunity for both of them to get a little separation there in that battle for a wild card spot at the moment. Although the division's in play for everyone still. One team real quick before I talk about mine, I just want to ask you guys. We haven't given any love at all, probably for good reason, but we haven't really talked about the Giants at all. And the Giants just got a really impressive win in Seattle. I remember yesterday, Jack, you were like, I don't want to talk about this at all when we brought up the Giants for a second. But winning in Seattle, I think a lot of people thought that was a good survivor pick, the Seahawks. The Giants didn't have Malik Neighbors. Like, the Giants are sitting here at 2-3. I don't think they're a playoff threat. I really don't. But I have to acknowledge, they have played okay football. I mean, they could have beat the Commanders. They very easily could beat the Commanders. The Cowboys game came down to a couple field goals here or there. Like, I've been impressed with the Giants compared to what people expected from them, and especially after the Vikings game, I thought they were the worst team in football. And now they've rebounded nicely over the past few weeks.
No, I mean, if I don't think they're a playoff team either, but they're doing better than I thought they'd be. I thought they'd be 0-5, especially after week 1. I mean, I just thought that there was no ray of hope or ray of sunshine at all. What I think is they'll be a team who goes over their win total. Mm-hmm. Maybe it goes 7-10, and exceeds expectations, but they won't be in the playoffs.
Here's the hope for the Giants, I think. Cam Ward looked great against the Cowboys. Few games, there's still a chance a good quarterback falls to them in the draft.
Oh, man.
The fact that Cal blew that.
Oh, Miami's the most
that's the most Cal thing ever. I don't know. I follow Cal football very closely. I'm from California. A lot of my friends went there. They knew, right? It's like when the Vikings get a 30-point lead, Paul, and it just hits you like
you just know
they're going to find a new way to blow this.
When they were beating Green Bay 28, was it 28-0 or 20?
Yeah.
It was 28-0, and I was like, this feels too. I mean, 17-0 against the Jets too. I've been really happy that the Vikings have sort of led us down this road to, like, they're easing us into the misery this year. Like, we were blowing people out at the beginning. Now we're kind of blowing them out, but then we let them back into it. By the end of the year, we'll just be getting blown out by someone. But it's nice that we have this more of a slow fade. Into
just live in the moment. Live in the moment.
Yeah, 5-0 on a bye week, going into a game against Detroit. It's crazy. The Vikings have an opportunity to have a multi-game lead on the 1 seed if they beat Detroit.
I mean, at this point, you have to say the Vikings are the 1 seed favorite, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for them though that the Lions in their division.
I'd say it's them or Detroit.
Yeah.
I'd say it's one of those two.
It's too bad.
So I'm giving it to the team that's in the league.
That's currently in the league. Yeah,
that's
fair.
By a lot.
As for me, I had the Lions in first, the 49ers in second, the Cowboys in third, and the Falcons in fourth. So currently just one of the division champions with Atlanta. The Eagles in fifth, Green Bay in sixth, and the Bucks, in seventh. Jack and I both had Tampa Bay. So I went 4 for 7 as well. That brings our totals now. I was 8 of the 14 possible teams. Ziggy was 7 out of the 14 possible. And Jack was 9 out of the 14 possible teams.
Are you surprised? Nothing new there.
I was surprised.
Nothing new there to me.
Jack's Super Bowl was the Bengals over the Lions.
Yeah, that's changed. I still have Detroit there, though. But the Bengals, I've switched to either Baltimore or Denver.
Baltimore. We're riding Denver, really.
I'm going to go... I think Baltimore will beat Denver AFC Championship. And it'll be Baltimore versus the Lions.
If Denver makes the AFC Championship game, I
I think it's the best defense in football. Where the quarterback is getting better.
Oh, what do I do? Like, what do I have to do? Like, tattoo the Broncos on my back? No, I'll just wear the Chiefs. It's insanity. I think Ziggy froze. I thought he was just making the same face. There he is.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, I thought he was just
Ziggy
like very
had the
stoic.
same face on for.
I mean, I can do that.
That was no. I believe you could do that. That's why I thought it was real.
I could stare at Ziggy's handsome face all day long.
All right, so
All
Jack
day
has
long.
changed his Super Bowl. Ziggy, you had the Chiefs over the Cowboys. Are you changing your Super Bowl?
I can't in good conscience put the Cowboys up there. Chiefs over the Vikings.
Chiefs over the
Vikings
Vikings?
find a way to let us down.
Oh, so you Vikings getting there and losing?
That's so sad.
Ziggy.
But Paul, wouldn't that be perfect for the Minnesota Vikings? We make the Super Bowl finally. Sam Darnold's hot. We've got the elite defense, and we lose like the Chiefs just blow us out.
Well, there's the book.
Walk us
What is the book? I can't remember it right now. Where the Vikings are in the Super Bowl beating whoever wrote it. Oh, I need to figure it out. It's someone in the comment section will remember. But he's a Vikings fan, the author, and the Vikings are beating the Chargers in the Super Bowl, and then a bunch of nuclear bombs go off, and then the book.
That's a book.
There's a book in there where the book's not about the game. The book is just the beginning. It's like it's at the Super Bowl.
No, but that's somebody who understands them. Was it written by a Vikings fan? That's someone who understands the team.
Oh yeah.
It had to
It
have
was.
been.
If you can Google it, Ziggy, Vikings Chargers book or Super Bowl book, like it's a very very famous author, I believe.
Is it J.K. Rowling?
Yeah, and it's the beginning of Harry Potter. The Vikings lead the Justin Herbert and the Chargers, and then a nuclear bomb.
Oh, was it Tom Clancy?
Yeah, Tom Clancy.
I was going to say Tom Sawyer.
Clancy. Do you have the name of it?
I do not, but that's okay.
That's great. No free promos. I had the 49ers over the Chiefs. I actually still think that that's very possible. Even though I'm not sold on the 49ers, I'm
Once
not
they're
ruling
in, they
out-
could beat anybody.
Yeah, I'm not ruling out they get hot at the end of the year. But I'm going to... Okay. I'm going to do two things. One, on this show, something that everyone likes is we try not to be biased. Okay. But at the same time, I am a Viking fan. I think at this point in time, as I look up and down the NFC, the Vikings are the best team in the NFC. Like, I actually believe that.
They've played the best. That's indisputable.
I'm sorry, they've played the best. I think Detroit is very good, but their defense is concerning. Like, that secondary has concerned me a bit. I think Tampa Bay and Atlanta are both playing good football, but they also they have their problems. So I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'd probably have the Vikings lose to the Chiefs, but obviously everyone knows I can't say. I can't put that out. I'm being more optimistic. So I'll have the Vikings over the Chiefs at this point in time. The 2 1 seeds battle each other. But yeah, no, I really do think the Vikings are playing the best right now. It would not surprise me if they blew up, but at this point in time, the evidence in front of me says they're the best team.
If we have a Week 10 reaction show and the Vikings are 5-5, I'm going to lose that.
Can I give two possible scenarios?
Yeah, please.
So I said Baltimore and Detroit. I think if it's not that, it's Minnesota against Denver.
I would be if the Vikings played the Broncos, and it should have happened in 1998. If we played the Broncos in the Super Bowl, I would be as confident as I thought I would have been with the Vikings played the Jaguars in 2017. You understand, right before that Eagles game, that horrendous Eagles game, I was watching the Jaguars take a double-digit lead against the Patriots into the fourth quarter, thinking, holy crap, we're a 7.5-point favorite tonight. We're about to play the Jacksonville Jaguars and Blake Bortles.
I can't believe you let yourself think that.
like that. I think that's the biggest tease in the history of football. Was Vikings fans thinking we're about to play Blake Bortles and the Jaguars at home in the Super Bowl. That's it.
The biggest tease is the thought of Ziggy's swimsuit calendar. That's the biggest tease. Maybe the Vikings is the second biggest tease.
That's not the NFL, though. I mean, maybe
So
NFL
you just said tease
podcast.
in general.
Oh yeah, maybe the biggest tease of all time. That would. Oh gosh, could you imagine that would have been? Oh, it would have been so
Let's see
good.
Ziggy's facial reactions.
We probably would have lost somehow. We would have found a way to.
I mean, they killed us that year. They were good.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to switch around to the Vikings. I just want to read these to you guys real quick. Ziggy, I want to read it to you and just get your opinion. Comparing the AFC to the NFC right now, if you compare the seeds, like which conference has the better team, okay? At this point in time, just to kind of gauge which conference we think is better and by how much. This is kind of a weird way to do it, but it seems fun. The 1 seeds, right, Ziggy? You make the call here, okay? The Chiefs or the Vikings?
The Chiefs.
The Commanders or the Texans?
The Texans.
The Ravens or the Falcons?
The Ravens.
The Bills or the Seahawks? They're your 4 seeds.
The Bills.
Steelers or Lions, the 5s.
The Lions.
Yeah. Jacks, Broncos or the Bucks, the 6s.
Those are both Jacks.
They're both my squads there.
I'm gonna side of Jack on this one and take the Broncos.
What? Are you serious?
There we go.
No, I'm kidding. I'm taking
Okay. The Chargers or Cowboys?
Is Justin Herbert healthy?
He's healthy.
Then I'm taking the Chargers.
Oh, I forgot. Ziggy's a Charger guy. Jets or Packers?
Packers.
The 8s. The 9s. Raiders or Bears?
Bears.
Dolphins or Eagles? The 10s.
No, I'm just going to tell you this. I'm picking the NFC all the way down.
Yeah, that's what
Eagles,
I mean.
Saints, Cardinals, Giants over Browns, 49ers, Rams. Actually, I'm taking the Bengals at 16 over the Panthers.
Yeah. So to close that out there, you have the Eagles over Dolphins, Saints over Colts, Cardinals over Titans, Giants over Browns, Niners over Patriots, Rams over Jaguars, and the Bengals over the Panthers.
If the Bengals finishes the 16 seed, that could be the greatest 16 seed of all time.
It would. I'm sorry, it would be.
Oh,
But
yeah, it would.
that's 10 teams that you picked in the NFC over the AFC. So if you're an AFC fan, you might be thinking, especially if you root for one of the big contenders, like, oh, I'm a little nervous here. But you should have, if you're a Ravens, Bills, Texans, or Chiefs fan, feel good about your chances of getting to the divisional round. It's hard from there.
No, the divisional round, sure, you're not feeling good about your chance of winning because you have to play Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, look, compared to like the Vikings fan right now, I feel great. It's as good as it could go. Still, and if we don't get the bye, we could have a really tough, like the Lions, Bucks, and Cowboys, or I guess we'd be in that wild card spot. So you get the Falcons on the road, Seahawks, whoever it is.
Cowboys suck.
All right, and the last thing here before we wrap up, the MVPs that we had. Ziggy, you and I had. I mean,
Not going to defensive player of the year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't remember who I had. I think I had Parsons. Do you have? Did you see Ziggy? Who do you have?
I'll get it there.
Okay. You pull that up. While we figure that out, the MVPs.
Who do I have? Watt?
Oh, we just straight up didn't predict it. That's why we don't remember.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. We'll do the MVPs, then we'll go over to that. The MVPs. Ziggy and I had Mahomes. Jack had Jared Goff. Are we standing with those predictions right now?
Yeah, man. I still think Detroit's the number 1 seed, so I'm gonna stick with Goff, and my runner-up is gonna be Jayden Daniels.
Okay, so you got Goff.
But I'm gonna stay with Jared Goff. Yeah.
And Ziggy, how about you with Mahomes? I have to imagine you feel pretty confident with the Patrick Mahomes pick.
Yeah, I'm Patrick Mahomes at FanDuel is plus 270. Everyone else is plus 600 or more. I think that's a little aggressive, but it's hard not to be happy with the best quarterback on the best team through week 4.
I am. So right now,
You got to go with Sam Darnold.
who are the top 5, Ziggy, that you're seeing? Did you have them in front of you?
Yeah, we've got Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, and then Jayden Daniels.
And Jayden Daniels.
I think that Jayden Daniels is all hype. Sam Darnold is at 6, Joe Burrow's at 7, Jared Goff's at 8.
Yeah, I think at this point in time right now.
Where's Bo Nix?
Okay, where's Bo? And Bo's got to be.
Bo's not on the list.
Oh,
I actually like.
Bo Nix is between Max Crosby and Joe Flacco.
Oh, all right.
that's value.
All right, Joe
Plus
Flacco played well.
50,000.
That's value.
So what I'm looking at right now, I think I like my pick of Mahomes at the moment, but I think I might go with Lamar again. Another MVP for Lamar. He's been amazing the past couple of weeks, guys.
Yeah, but the voters are not going to give it. Lamar, I'm not going to weigh in on whether or not he deserved it last year. Lamar last year was not the strongest MVP candidate we've seen in recent times.
No, definitely not.
I think voters are going to be hesitant to give him 2 in a row if he doesn't put together an outstanding season.
Yeah, we got to
Josh Allen and Mahomes, I think I'd much rather have.
Yeah.
We got to stop throating this running back.
Yeah, dude, he's good though. He's good. All right, Ziggy, what do you want to say about Defensive Player of the Year?
I just wanted to say about Defensive Player of the Year. Here's maybe the question is, does at this point, right? It's been Defensive Lineman Award for many years. At what point do we start thinking Xavier McKinney has a chance?
He's had 5 picks in 5 games right now. He's one off the record?
Yeah, he's one off the record. And so Trayvon
Is he
Diggs.
one off tying the record?
He's one off tying the record.
Yes, okay.
So Trayvon Diggs tied that a few years ago. And Trayvon Diggs, if you remember, at that point, he had a ton of Defensive Player of the Year hype.
Yep.
I don't exactly know why Xavier McKinney doesn't have similar hype. I mean, Pat Surtain is at plus 750 and Xavier McKinney's at plus 2,300. I find this baffling.
Who's the favorite?
Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, Aiden
Like,
Hutchinson.
he's like tied with TJ Watt.
Plus what? Two something?
300.
300.
Plus 300. All right, can you read the top 5?
Yeah. Hutchinson, TJ Watt,
Yep.
Pat Surtain, Chris Jones, Nick Bosa.
Chris Jones, Nick Bosa. All right, well, let me see. How many defensive backs have won this award? We've had Gilmore in 2019. You had Troy Polamalu in 2010. Bob Sanders, 07. Ed Reed, 2004.
You missed Charles Woodson.
And and Woodson in 09. So what is that? It's 5 guys right there.
I mean, that's not. I think you don't want to go back to 2010.
Yeah.
Since 2011, right? So in the past 13 seasons, defensive back has won one. So this is a defensive line dominated award.
I love that from Ziggy right there. You don't want to go back to 2010, but 2011. No, but for real though. So yeah, if you go back from the time Palomaro won or the year after, yeah, only one guy has won it. And I think that's where it's tough to see McKinney actually winning the award. Especially that he is a safety. Like there are a lot more important positions on the field than safety. He's been an impactful one. I think his interception numbers would have to really remain at a crazy rate like this to have a shot.
I would agree. Yeah, I wanted to take Patrick Surtain. It went as a team, the best player in a team. I think is going to go far and surprise people. I think a corner is the most important position in football too. But
other than quarterback.
Rather than quarterback,
okay. You never know with Jack. You never know.
A player. Well, actually, remember that draft we had? We were drafting who we draft number 1 overall if we were starting a team.
Yeah,
and I said
Sauce Gardner
number 1
overall.
I value cornerbacks, a guy who can shut down a number 1 receiver on a consistent weekly basis.
Yeah, taking Sauce Gardner with the 4th overall pick that'd be the worst pick ever.
This is what I find crazy. So Aiden Hutchinson's number 1, right?
He won't win the award.
Aiden Hutchinson had 4.5 sacks against the Buccaneers, who had 3 offensive linemen out. And other than that, he's got 2 sacks and a forced fumble. Xavier McKinney has 5 interceptions. It's like they're saying an interception is worth only slightly more than a sack. Really? Really?
Aiden Hutchinson has been he's an impact player.
I'm not saying Aiden Hutchinson's been bad. That's to put in the context just how crazy 5 interceptions in 5 games.
Yeah. 5 interceptions is crazy.
I would love to take a guy like that, like Surtain, but I'm taking Watt.
Aiden Hutchinson, he impacts every single game with tons of holding calls against him all the time. He's a great player. I don't think he actually TJ Watt.
It's Watt. Watt's the DPOY.
TJ Watt just has it seems every single without him we've seen the record. They're 1-11 with
Imagine him not on that team. They don't have any. There's no wins.
McKinney though, because remember Trayvon Diggs, he had a lot of interception. He had big plays, didn't he? When he was in the running there, he had a bunch of interceptions, but did he return 1 or 2 of them?
Yeah, but he also gave up ridiculously huge plays.
Yeah, he did that too. But Bland, remember last year, Bland had all the interception returns for touchdowns. He broke the record. Not really even mentioned. For safety, because those guys are corners too. To win the award, it was Polamalu and Ed Reed, right? And Charles Woodson, who they have listed as a cornerback, but I think
Woodson was a corner. He wasn't a safety.
Maybe later in his career, then he moved over to safety. Green Bay, right? Am I crazy here? I thought Woodson moved over to safety. Oh, whatever.
But that was right near the end. Still,
we're talking about the greatest of all time at the position right now. You need to have that.
McKinney could be up there.
Oh no, he could be. That's just.
If you look at how he started his career, he's on track to be an all-time great.
Okay. Maybe he does wind up being on the level of Palmo and Ed Reed, but that's the whole point. Is you need to be that good to be in.
I also think it's much harder to play corner than it is to play safety.
Yes.
That's why you see odds at for Surtain much higher than Xavier McKinney.
Sure, yeah.
We don't give out awards for how hard it is to play the position.
I think it should play a role.
Edge rusher is if you talk to JJ Watt, he'll tell you edge rusher is the easiest position in football. You just run at the quarterback.
I think it's also easier than
it's the most athletically demanding, but that's not the same thing as being intellectually challenged.
I just think safety is the easiest position to play on defense, which is why you see the odds lower than maybe what you think they should be.
Well, Ziggy, what do you think? You're bringing up the topic. You think Xavier McKinney should be the favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year?
I'm not sure he should be the favorite, but I'm just wondering here, how many more games does he need to do this to have a chance to win?
Where is he? What number is he at right now?
He's at 6 or 7.
That's not horrendous. He's in the running.
But
the thing is, he's at 6 or 7, but he's at plus 2,500.
Oh, so you got the value there.
Go for it.
He sees something.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying why I think the odds are lower than guys like Surtain.
If he can do this for 2 more games, Actually, screw this. If he does this for 3 more games, he will set the NFL record for most interceptions consecutively.
I mean, I had the dream. Like, I did dream it. So,
and if you can dream it, you can do it.
if you can dream it, if Paul can dream it, you can do it.
I'm going Watt.
I think Watt too. I think Watt's.
He adds like 9 wins to us. Like, not even exaggerating.
Watching TJ Watt's a little bit like there are a few of those guys. I said it about Aaron Donald. If you just watch them on every single play, they're blowing someone up every single play.
It's him or Surtain. One of those two.
So Surtain will not win the award.
When he takes Denver to the AFC Championship game?
No, Bo Nix is going to take him there.
Let's combine.
No, Xavier McKinney, though, Ziggy, I like. We do need to pay attention to it. What he's doing is awesome. Shouldn't have had an interception against the Vikings. Just saying it, but yes, what he's doing has been great.
But it seems puzzling to me because if you look at how the national media is talking about it, I hear everyone out of Green Bay talking about this guy for good reason. It doesn't seem like he's actually getting that much attention.
Yeah, I don't think he is right now. I agree with you.
Like compared to how much attention Trayvon Diggs was getting, people were asking if he was the next prime time.
Trayvon Diggs is a cornerback on the Dallas Cowboys. That's
crazy.
He's a Packer.
He's a Packer, but I mean, Trayvon Diggs is
people don't talk about the Packers. We saw this last year. A young quarterback was putting together one of the most exciting playoff runs in recent NFL history. And we were the only podcast that wasn't a Packers
Diggs
podcast
also,
talking about this guy.
His brother Stephon, like Trayvon Diggs is a big time name too. I think Xavier McKinney. I don't think if you asked a majority of NFL fans, they have any idea who Xavier McKinney is.
I also think corner carries so much more weight than safety. Yeah, that's what I think it comes down
it does
to.
too, in a lot of people's eyes. I need to look a little bit more into the weeds.
6 turnovers matters. 5 interceptions plus a fumble.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
I think that's a lot more weight than 2 passes defended.
I'm not saying he's not in the running.
He just rolled.
I'm just saying why I think the odds are what they are.
Yeah. All right. I don't mind. I don't mind you bringing it up, Ziggy. I think Xavier McKinney's had an awesome start to the year, but I wouldn't bet on him to win Defensive Player of the Year. I think he'll be a top defensive player all year long, though, and he'll be crucial down the stretch for the Packers as they play. I mean, that whole the NFC. Surprisingly, Sam Darnold and the Vikings, Goff and the Lions, like. There are a lot of good receiving threats in the NFC where Xavier McKinney is going to be vital.
I need a milkshake.
Need a milkshake.
Yeah, need a milkshake.
All right, we'll wrap up the show here. Thanks everyone for listening today. Kind of a fun one there. It was fun going back and looking at our picks. Maybe we'll go back and
we
revisit
gotta get producer Zach back here because these shows they're chaotic. They're out of control.
He's got it. Yeah, he tightens up the ship. So we'll
tighten up, Ziggy. Tighten up.
Tighten up. Hey, Ziggy.
Tighten up.
Still in the running. That's what I took away from today. Ziggy was not willing to completely remove the Titans from the playoffs.
Tighten up, baby.
All right.
In the AFC, you should be wanting to remove anyone from the playoffs.
In the AFC, you have your top 4 that you can just circle and basically check off, and maybe top 3. I don't know.
God, I had
Buffalo,
Dolphins. What on earth? God.
But everyone else in the AFC, yeah.
What's the worst pick? The Dolphins or the Titans? Probably the Dolphins, right? At 2, like for sure.
No, the Titans.
Do you think the Titans were?
Yeah, Ziggy owns the worst pick from the preview at the moment. Maybe it's even the Raiders, and they look bad. But Ziggy also, it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Can we for one show the entire time call Ziggy Robert?
Well, that's up to him. That's
you could. I can't stop you.
How's it going, Robert?
That's totally up to.
No, I can't do it.
Well, the whole reason that
I can't do it.
I started calling him Robert was I said, Magic Johnson called Kareem Abdul-Jabbar called Magic Johnson Irvin. I was like, Ziggy, can I call you Robert?
Wait, Magic's not Magic?
Irvin Johnson.
I never knew that.
I
thought it was Magic Johnson.
You thought he was born, his name was Magic.
Yes.
He came out and they said, hey, that's Magic.
I thought it was Magic Johnson. I did not know it was Irvin Johnson.
You never heard anyone say Irvin Magic Johnson?
No.
You know Tiger Woods' name is not Tiger.
Yes, no, I think I knew that. I knew that. But
do you think that Dr. J's name is Dr. J? Do you think he was born Dr. J?
It's not, what's his real name?
Wait, do you know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is not actually Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
No, I know. That's
what do you mean he's not actually?
I'm sorry, his name. His original name.
What is his name though? I know his name.
Yeah,
Lou Alcindor.
Right? Yeah. I thought it was
Lou Alcindor's not even his name. It's Ferdinand Lewis Alcindor.
Oh, well, I did not know that. Did you?
I didn't know that.
Muhammad Ali.
Yes, Muhammad Ali.
No, I mean it's you should call these people the name they want to be called.
Do you know what Muhammad Ali's original name was?
That was his actual name.
No, his name was Cassius Clay.
Oh no, I knew that.
Okay,
yeah, I knew that.
It's kind of fun to see. So you
But I've never heard.
so you knew all of these, but you didn't know.
I've
the
never
Magic
heard of
Johnson.
Irvin Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
I thought it was Magic Johnson.
Good. Yeah, that's
I
funny.
got a Magic Johnson.
That's funny. All right.
That'll be
Enough.
cut out.
Time to wrap the show. All right, we'll see you for the week 6 preview show. Ziggy, thanks. Jack, thanks. For Paul, thanks. I am Paul. See you later.
So I couldn't help myself there. I couldn't help myself.